Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so for Jujutsu Kaisen Phantom Parade on the global side, that ×2 speed is in full action because they have now informed us as they have released this little video package of the next character, and that is Todo. I just realized the timeline for global for these remaining characters before we get into the half anniversary characters, they're going backwards. Because the last character before half anniversary was Nanami, but for global it's the first one. Then before Nanami it was Itadori, and global it was Itadori previously. And yeah, so now it's Todo. So literally global is going backwards. It's kind of weird, but either way, here it is, the video package. Later on they'll announce the character and all that good stuff, but they've just announced the video package for Todo. I mean, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. There we go. Pretty badass. Hitting that ball. Giving us that beautiful. That's the character artwork I'm sure you guys are aware of. Oh, Todo. Passion for baseball. Nice. Cool. And that is it. Alright. Okay, so let's just quickly run through the characters, give my honest opinions. We'll go through him in his pre-adjustment, and there is a post-adjustment for this Todo. He does get a little bit of buff later on. So it states him being a blue attacker, questionable. But anyway, before we furthermore go into his actual role. So characteristic, when Black Flash performs, he increases his own critical hit rate. So for the skill 1, again this is all pre-adjustment, we'll go post in just a second. So melee damage, deals 100%. If Takata-chan's guidance state is active, the higher own HP is, the greater the damage boost. So pretty much at the very beginning you do want to apply this guidance state, so that way you can maximize getting a little bit more damage out of it. So that's how that is working. I should also mention the pre-adjustment for this Todo is how global will be at the very beginning, and then later they'll give him his post-adjustment. Just an FYI. So this is his actual kit. Going further to the second skill, which by the way I should also mention Cursed Energy, pretty high up there, just so you know, 25-20. So decreases own damage received by 10.4% for 2 turns, activates the Takata-chan's guidance state for 4 turns, and then recovers own HP by 5.4. So the second skill, basically that's where it all truly kicks off. If Takata-chan's guidance state is active, changes the skill effect to reduce his own damage received by 12% for 2 turns, activates the Takata-chan guidance state for 4 turns, and you recover by 7.4% rather than 5.4. And then of course, as you're leveling up the skill, as you guys can see, it can go up to where you can maximize it with it initially being 12.2 damage received, recovers 7.2, but if the skill is already active then it will become 14.7% damage received, or damage reduction, sorry, and then 10.1% HP recovered. So that's kind of how that skill is working. But again, this is where you get the guidance state. And then skill 3 deals 240 melee damage, 293 at level 5, and then at level 10 360, and inflicts the confusion status on the selected enemy. It starts at an 80% chance, and it's on for 2 turns. Okay, that's a bit of a W of an attack. If Takata-chan's guidance state is active, changes the skill effect to 240% melee taijutsu damage to the selected enemy. Can that go up? It can, 360. Alright, cool. Oh, it stays the same as the initial deal damage, okay. The higher the own HP, the greater the damage boost. Confusion status, again, on for 2 turns, has an 8% chance, and on top of that you recover your own cursed energy by 5. So that's skill 3, and then when it comes to the ultimate, deals 500% melee damage, level 5 at 722, level 10, doesn't even break 1,000, damn, alright, I don't know why they shorted it by that much, but it is what it is. So you do the initial damage, single target, increases own taijutsu damage by 30%, increases own damage by 30%, these are on for 4 turns. If Takata-chan's guidance state is active, it changes the skill to doing the same amount of damage. So you pretty much do the same thing, it's just you recover HP by 15%. That's the only difference. Well, that's the only difference that I'm seeing. Okay, alright, interesting. Then you do you get a taijutsu damage by 10% if you do in a combination with an ally. In terms of, okay, so thankfully I've got Todo, so pretty much when the user generates Black Flash, you get a 20% increase on critical rate, and that's all for 3 turns. And then when it comes to the guidance state, when you start the battle, you will automatically grant yourself the Takada-chan's guidance for 2 turns. So those are the auto skill passes on what he's doing, of course. I'm not sure why they're not being shown here, but that's kind of how this Todo is working. I'm just going to put it as plainly as this. You don't really need to concern yourself with this Todo. He will lose value. He's not that interesting at the very beginning. If anything, the most that you're going to be using him for realistically is just a tank of a unit. That's kind of where his role is going to be. But this unit, there's not much value to be gained. This is definitely a character which you'll just gradually pull at a later time. There's no need to waste your cubes on this character. There's no need to actually chase it. And I'm not even saying it just for the sake of saying it in terms of, you know, free to play, etc. Of course, even if you're pay to win, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't think you're gonna be. I mean, outside of the confusion, I mean, then again, you got the red Todo. So I mean, yeah, I just really wouldn't concern myself with this character. Not the best. Not the best. What is okay? So his characteristics stay the same. So his post adjustment, they give him a slight increase in terms of damage, so like a 20% increase. Okay, fair enough. If the Takada-chan's guidance state is active, increase his own damage 1 time before attacking. Depending on how many guidance you have determines the amount of damage that you can cap out on. So 140, 260, 380. Reduces Takada-chan's guidance state by 1 after the skill is used. So now, pre-adjustment, you just use it and then you get the additional bonus for the skill, right? Post-adjustment, they now make it into a counter. So the more you have, the more you get out from the attack itself. Don't know why they didn't do that before. Okay, that's good to know. And then when it comes to the post adjustment for the second skill, okay, yeah, so they've buffed up the damage received by 10%, recovers on HP by 5%, of course, so that's dope. If the Takada-chan guidance skill is active already, reduces own damage by 12%, 7% HP recovery. So they've really made it so that you can tank a little bit more now. Okay, that's fine. I need Curse energy cost is 25. Oh, so they've kept that the same. Ew. Okay. Apply both skill effect. Takada-chan's guidance state for 4 turns. Increases own taijutsu damage by 40%. So realistically, you pop this off and try and combine this with any other attack because you want that 40%. Okay, and then it still makes him into that tank. So essentially, he's a tank, and with the post adjustment, they've made him so that he kind of like does a little bit more damage. But they're still keeping that tankish role for him. Okay. And then when it comes to the third skill, again, you're doing taijutsu, you still got the confusion status. If Takada-chan state is active, then you increase your own damage 1 time before attacking. 1 guidance 15%, 2 guidance 20%, 3 guidance 25%. So basically, they just said, hey, screw the whole how much. If you have a lot of HP, then you can do a little bit more damage. They just said, look, depending on how many guidance you've got, that will determine the amount of damage you do. So they just kind of switched it up. Yeah, and then the confusion and the initial damage with the guidance is still the same. Okay. Skill. Oh, sorry, this is the ultimate now. Whoa, hold up, wait a minute. So now, oh, there we go, above the 1,000 mark, about goddamn time. So it does good amount of damage now, 944 at level 5. So it fills own ultimate gauge up by 330. Okay, that's pretty cool to use the ultimate to then refill it a little bit. If the Takada-chan's guidance state is active, it changes its skill effect to doing the same amount of damage. If more guidance the more guidance that you have, the greater the damage increases. Additionally, up to 20%. So max you can have is 4 guidances. Damn. Okay, so realistically, yeah, the ultimate itself could be a pretty big hitter, pun intended. Recovers on HP by 20%. That's a lot. Apply both skill. So performs a critical hit, fantastic. Increases own taijutsu damage for 4 turns and damage dealt for 4 turns. The more guidance, the greater the damage increase additionally. So 0 guidance, 31%, 4 guidance is 62%, very nice. Max increased at 4 guidance, cannot be stacked, and then activates the Takada-chan guidance state for 3 times. Okay, I'll give it to him. The ultimate is kind of like the bestseller. And that's basically it. Oh, wait a minute. Oh wait, okay, hold on a minute. I think pre-adjustment, these aren't here. Post-adjustment, they then get added in. I always forget because on JP it's already been affected, so my bad. So pre-adjustment, I don't think they should be there. Post-adjustment, they'll get added. Oopsie daisies. There we go. Now we know. Okay, so yeah, post-adjustments. I mean, clearly he's been done up a little bit more better. He's still keeping that tank rod, but they just gave him more firepower. That's basically it. That's the look of this Todo going forward. On if you choose to pull him now, at a later time, this is what you're going to be getting. I mean, it does put him in a better light, I will say, but still, he's going to be in that same position where you're not going to get much usage out of him going forward. Let me tell you, when it comes to the blue units and more what blue units to come, this Todo will most definitely fall behind. And in terms of tankage, because technically speaking that's the role that he's really going to be playing, especially with his kit and how he's working, in terms of tank, and then obviously having that DPS power. Not to be that guy, but like I said, you got better choices to come. There are better characters to come. Where is she? Boom. There are better characters to come, in my personal opinions, that you need to focus on. So yeah, that's kind of Todo in a nutshell. That's kind of the role that he's going to be playing. Trust me, for blue typing, it's just you do not need to concern yourself with this character. So there are going to be memory cards coming with Todo through the banner, and as well as it being free to play. So it's going to be more on the Taijutsu side of things. Go given. So we've got the best battery. So Jujutsu, you get 21, Taijutsu 31, HP 20%. So when ultimate is used, you increase your Taijutsu by 40%. At LB3 goes to 45, and then LB1 at the start of the battle recovers own curse energy by 10. So again, fairly mid for the Taijutsu side of things. I mean, you can quite easily get better ones that give you a bigger increase of Taijutsu, but this one is just yeah, this one's kind of like mid overall. And then the last one, Midsummer's. Oh wait, by the way, I think this is free to play. I think this is the one that you get through the event. So as a free to play event one, I say it's mid. It's actually not bad in terms of Taijutsu and it being a free memory card. So like being a free memory card, and you kind of need that Taijutsu firepower with that slight little touch up on the cursed energy regeneration. It's kind of decently well, I'd say, in that perspective. And then the pay to win one that's going to be available on the banner, Midsummer Spectators, again pretty much got the same stats across the board. When you use your command skill, ultimate skill, you get an increase of Taijutsu by 25% going to 30%, and then at the start of the battle decreases on damage received by 20%. Yeah, this one's kind of like meh. Especially to make it a pay to win, this one's kind of like mid. Yeah. don't need to worry about this. Do not, I mean, that's such a low amount. But yeah guys, that is pretty much what is next. Again, since they announced it now, this will probably drop either... What date is it today? No, it's going to drop tomorrow. Yeah, this should drop tomorrow, technically. Tomorrow or Friday. But usually when they announce things, it's basically a 24-hour drop. So, yeah, they are really making sure that they get the remaining 3 characters in, lining it up, so that way the half anniversary characters, Teen Gojo, as well as Toji and Geto, all release near the end of January, going into early February. So everything is on schedule. So when it comes to this Todo one, boys, this is by far an easy skip. Obviously, for the free-to-play homies out there, farm the event, get your cubes. That's what we're going to be doing. We should get a free multi from this, fingers crossed. Not like an Itadori situation where it was only 5 tickets, I think, right? But because there's an event and all that good stuff, we should get a free multi. So you might get lucky, you never know. But yeah, this Todo overall is just mid. Like, I wouldn't say he's below mid, but he's pretty spot on to say that he's mid, and won't have much value going forward in the blue typing. Unless things change, I don't know, but as far as I'm aware, when it comes to blue typing, he is a bench warmer.